We're not live.
Should be any second.
We are live.
Cue music. Hey. Fade Chaz. So maybe it's different moving forward. Had a little technical difficulty.
But what's new?
What's new? It looks like maybe YouTube changed shit. So whatever.
They were like,
okay, man.
Fuck you guys. Hey.
Hey. So, you got a Red Bull. I got a Reed's ginger beer. Life's good.
Yeah.
And it's really nice out. Fuck, days are getting short.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Days are getting short. I picked up some prescriptions, so drugs in hand. Fucking
Nice.
A.
So did I. Yeah.
All right. And it's October 11th, right?
10/11, baby. Yeah.
And that makes
was,
tomorrow Columbus Day.
Is it really?
Yes. October 12th, my dad's
Wow.
birthday.
The 10/11 was the address of my fraternity's annex house. So whenever we were going to go party, it was always at 10/11. So that was fun.
Cool, man. And my name is Chris.
My name is Charlie.
And we're...
Wait, hang on. I got to get the thumbnail. Boom.
Bam.
Yeah.
Another t-shirt. Keeping good.
I'm wearing my uniform today.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that shirt. I was admiring it while you were going, fuck, while you were adjusting the YouTube set.
Did you see the back of it? Did I lose you? Uh-oh.
No, wait, we're back. Damn it.
I didn't
And I have
go
a hardwired
away.
connection today.
Did you see the back of it?
No, you went away on mine. Second Amendment. Yeah, I like that. And
Yeah.
it's very relevant because I went and shot some guns today.
Yes. I bought
Didn't get
some
invited.
accessories for one of my guns, and they had this shirt. It's M. Cobros, the company. It's run by veterans, and I like supporting them. I thought the t-shirt was cool, and I'm not a gun crazy, and this would suggest that, which made me all the more inclined to buy it. So once I'm back to leaving the house and running around, I can't wait to wear this to like my Sunday pilgrimage to Whole Foods.
It's like, yeah, they're going to be like, whoa.
How
That
many
guy,
people
wait
would
a
go to
second,
Whole
yeah.
Foods wear Second Amendment shirts?
You're
But
the
guess
one
what?
guy.
I'm the one guy. Guess what, motherfuckers? If the shit hits the fan, I got your back. And people
He's always back.
don't understand that.
Yeah. They're going to be like, oh, you're that guy Chris from... Wait a second. Are you always carrying... He's like, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, folks out there, if you're looking... Oh, go ahead.
No. Folks out there.
I was about to just dive right in.
Charlie
If
says...
you're looking to get into guns right now, not the best time because you can't buy bullets anywhere. Literally nowhere. Chris somehow magically finds them. But
yeah, but
I went to go
I look every day.
literally
I have a gun and ammo search engine. I'll shoot you the link, and just hit or miss.
we went to two stores and then I went to a bunch of websites to find 3 different types of ammunition. So the first place we went to, they had a list online, or like I had a list on his window and it said none of this, 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 right? And I was like,
Wow.
cool, 223, fucking gonna have it, you know? Go in there, wait 20 minutes in line. He goes, we have no ammo for sale. What can I get for you? And we're like, all right,
Wow.
well, fuck you. Take that stupid sign off your window. Yeah. And then went to the actual gun range. They didn't have shit there either. And then I forgot the box magazine for one of my guns, and it was just.
What's
this
a
whole
box
thing.
of 223? What's a box of 50?
Usually it's like $38. Now they're like $55.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll shoot you this link. But I mean, it's crazy. So for the FN, because I learned the United States government is the largest purchaser of that gun, which is interesting. Which would
Yeah,
explain
that's cool.
why, rounds are hard to come by civilians. But I was talking to a friend, the guy who invited me out to his range on the west side of the state last week, and his gun shoots 32 ACP, and his local stores were out of it. So I went on my little search engine, and it was the middle of the afternoon. He called me in the middle of the afternoon on a weekday, and FN ammo came up at like 2 p.m. it was, I think, Thursday. So I bought some. It's so fucking expensive. But it was actually, relatively speaking, it was a deal that day. I went back just out of curiosity. At 5 o'clock, it was all gone.
Nice. How much did you get?
Well, I have enough for my storage. So every time I went and shot off, I don't know, about 100 rounds. So I think I bought 200 rounds to have 2 more shooting sessions.
Yeah.
But I found that, and I think I told you this. So if you guys don't know, I have 4 handguns. And one is very expensive to shoot. It's like 50 cents a bullet. And I actually like shooting the Kel-Tec better. The FN just tires, 2 hours of shooting, it tires my hand out holding it, with my hand weakness. But
Yeah.
what the hell was the point? Oh, so I bought 200 rounds for 2 more trips. Just because it's fucking $50 a box right now.
That's
Right now it's
insane.
$1
For
a
100
bullet.
rounds. Oh, for a 50 pack.
It's yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
It is
they're
crazy.
$110 for AR-15 5.56 shells. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
$1 a shot. Chris Rock did a bit, and he's like, everybody's got guns.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He said, yeah, what we need to do is make bullets expensive, because he's like, then guys are going to be out, and like, are they going to do a drive-by? Are they going to like shoot 20 bullets into a house? They're going to be like, fuck that, if it's
That's
$5 a bullet,
$1,000.
right?
For $100. Yeah.
Right. They're just going to shoot the guy they want dead, and all these innocent people is going to save lives. So I think that's what was the gist of the, but anyway, it was funny. He's a funny guy. He can get away with shit like that.
But
So I sent the FN back in to return it to the factory spring. It was having load issues because he put a stiffer spring in it. Yeah, he put a stiffer spring in it, thinking that because I don't hold it that tightly, that it might be better, and it actually made it worse. It lowered the recoil, but then it lowered the action, so it was having feed issues.
wasn't ejection. Oh yeah.
It had 3 issues. It would stovepipe loading, it would stovepipe ejecting, and then it would fail to eject a spent shell too.
Yeah.
So it had all
That's
kinds
all
of
the
problems.
3 different. Those are the 3 kinds of different kind of stovepipes that you can
Right.
or fail to eject. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
this one, that one, and then it just fucking doesn't go right.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah.
So he's fixing it. And I found, so this place has Kel-Tec accessories. And I think you know that the Kel-Tec has feed issues. And if you
it's
saw
just
the part,
with that 22 mag.
yeah, exactly. But if you saw the part that is the guide, like the feed ramp into the barrel, it's just this plastic fucking part. And they sell a nicely machined, kind of funneled.
Yeah.
And the part was $35, and it probably costs, if they sold it with a gun, it's probably $5 or less, which they really should do.
It's like the Pinto, the Ford Pinto thing.
Well, no, but that gun is a Chevy with or let's say it's a Ford Taurus, but with a Pinto feed ramp. It's really, anyway.
It's a nice. The point is, it's a really nice gun. It's just they were like, oh fuck, it's gonna cost us $5 to do this on how many guns? People are gonna get fix them anyway.
Yeah, that's like
I'm
a key
just
part.
making a joke, but yeah,
And it's
it really is. Yeah,
It's a 50 cent at the most plastic piece. You're just like, wow. Anyway, so we've totally lost our audience.
they're like the savings. Yeah, sorry guys.
Anyway, so I think when I talked about hunting, for people who have watched, but now we're up to like 50 people. Woo! My
You meant
grandfather.
50,000 people. Yeah.
You didn't know this. I'll go like one step further back. My grandfather grew up the stepson, technically, of a Texas Ranger.
No way.
Yeah.
Like a real
Yeah,
down south, fucking that kind of guy.
Yeah. So my grandpa, was kind of a cowboy. He actually rode the rodeo circuit in Texas, and he came to Michigan for what reason I don't know. But anyway, was totally into hunting, fishing, just total sportsman.
Yeah.
So I was introduced to guns very, very, very early. So I've loved target shooting my whole life. Anyway.
It's fun.
And
yeah,
I
didn't know
like
that.
the idea if somebody comes through my front door, I can do something about it.
I shot an AK today for the first time in my life. That was fun.
Is
it was
it-
an AK-74, not a 47. It shot 4.45 by 39 millimeter rounds, which is like a 22 caliber shell with a bullet that's twice the size. Really cool.
That's
gun, really cool
even
shell.
smaller. That's like a 17, isn't it?
It's almost the diameter of the bullet, perhaps, yeah, but the maybe it was 4.45 by whatever. It doesn't matter. It was a very cool and the new shell that I hadn't seen out of Russia yet, so that was fun to shoot. But just some random German dude was like, "Hey, you want to pop this thing off?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, man!" I'm not gonna. That's what's nice about going to the gun range is that people are nice to you there. I think because everyone's like, yeah,
My experience has always been really friendly people.
yeah. And
Everybody's
they'll just
armed.
talk to you. Yeah.
So here,
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Like,
Okay, Google. What is 4.47 divided by 25.4? What? Okay, Google. What is 4.47 divided by 25.4?
The answer is approximately 0.175984.
Yeah, it's that 17 caliber.
wow. Jeez. So, yeah.
So that fucker
$16.
goes fast. That's a fast
3,500
projectile.
FPS. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's hauling
Yeah,
ass.
that's fucking crazy. Yeah. And I think they have two bubbles in it because the shell itself is actually like twice the length of a 22 caliber long rifle shell. I don't know.
Oh,
Whatever.
wow.
It's a rifle round, yeah. So it was very, very interesting, but it's cycled very nice. I'd never shot an AK platform before, and it was just fun to do it. And it was just some German immigrant guy who sounded exactly like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I
Yeah.
knew it wasn't like Swedish or whatever. And I'm like, "Are you from fucking?" He's like, "Oh, that's what gave me away, huh?"
Well-
He's like, "It's
Yeah,
hilarious."
but like Austrian, German, Swiss, they all sound
the same, yeah.
very similar.
Yeah. And this guy was great. He's talking about immigration in Germany. Here's more back to our audience. But he was like, "You don't want to go back there now." He's like, "It fucking sucks." He's like, "Germany is the same size of Michigan. And they took in 8 million immigrants who all fucking hate your guts." And this isn't me saying this, by the way. This is that German guy. And I said it as a joke. He said, "Germany's terrible now. You don't want to go back." I'm like, "Well, it's because immigration, huh?" And he goes, "No, seriously, yeah." He said his wife was going to take a 2-week vacation there to visit their family. She was there for 1 week, was like, "Fuck this," and came back. Because you can't even walk around as a woman there. You can't even go do stuff on your own.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, so many people left Serbia. Kosovo? Just recently, Syria. A lot of Syrians left and went through Yugoslavia into all over all over Europe. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of them have that problem. I think, especially ones with more tolerable immigration. I think Germany. Yeah. Anyway, I'm no expert on who and where, but I think lots of countries have that problem.
That's basically what he was saying. He's like, my hometown that I grew up in, we have 100,000 citizens, and they added in the last 3 or 4 years or something, they added 50,000
Wow.
immigrants. And he said that his
Wow.
high school that he went to, yeah, he said there are 5 prayer rooms in there now. But that's what matters. So as long as that's what's important to them, they're getting the prayer room. So, yeah, fucked up to hear. Not very happy. But the dude was like, "That's why I'm in America. That's why I fucking own this AK-40. That's why I own this AK. I've been a member here
Yeah,
for 5 years." He's like,
He
Shit's
can't
great,
own
but-
that in Germany. No fucking
"Fuck no,
way.
you can't." Yeah, yeah. I think he said he bought it in Russia.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think you'd get that from Russia to Germany. Oh,
or to in America.
he bought that Russia. Okay, there you go. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. So he
Yeah.
wanted something European or different.
And it was very, yeah. And I was there with my AR, and they're the same gun basically, just 2 different ways of making it.
Yeah.
One of them is like a telescoping bolt. The other one just has a bolt that retracts. There's a bolt carrier group that goes back into the shoulder stock. But this is an AK-74. Doesn't have a shoulder stock, cavity there. And the way that the gun cycles is actually it feels way smoother. It's very interesting, but they're about the same size shell too. Well, a little bit smaller, like we mentioned, but usually you're shooting a 7.62 out of that. So, yeah,
That's big.
that's a big fucking shell, yeah, compared to
That's like what, 30
the
caliber
other
maybe?
one. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, great guy, good stuff, laughing it up, and that's the experience that I get at gun ranges all the time. Everyone's just nice. I'm
Did you
like,
go to
I've never
Bald-
shot an AK before.
Bald Mountain?
Bald Mountain, yeah,
Yeah.
which is like half the size of Island Lake. Yeah, smaller.
Was it flat?
Yes, there's no hill. I was thinking about that because you wanted to go, so there's no like shit like that at all, which is nice.
Yeah, I thought about going there by myself a few weeks ago, and for some reason it didn't work out.
Yeah, there's no shit like that at all. Like we could totally do that next time. But anyway,
Yeah, the nice thing about the place on the west side of the state, I think I told you, was there's metal targets, and it's really neat. You can be more
Ding.
tactical. You can shoot like over here, over there, my paper target, bam, bam.
oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Especially when Steve and I got there, it was just the two of us, and it's small. It's like 12 stalls, and it's similar to Island Lake. There's like a roof over it. It's totally
Yeah.
open out front, and there's, I don't know, like 4 doors out the back. So,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean, it was essentially, outside, because I'm not going to an indoor range. Fuck that. COVID. Well, no. The COVID risk. Aerosols.
Oh yeah, fuck. Oh,
I'm not going inside. And I will tell you, when I picked up my FN when did I get that? Maybe April, May time
you're
frame.
masked out, you're like,
Nobody. The place I went to, everybody going in and out, nobody was wearing a mask.
oh wow, yeah,
And this is when this is when people were hoarding toilet paper, and you couldn't get grocery deliveries, and this was like when people were afraid. Not that they're
Yeah.
not now, but kind of more the more hysterical time. Anyway, so I'm like, fuck that, even if you have a mask, if there's just germs everywhere.
yeah. No, you're right. Yeah.
So what do you think about, what do you think about the whole Gretchen Whitmer thing, man?
I think that's great. I don't mind it at all. I don't know if the story's progressed anymore since I've read it, but last I heard, the Supreme Court was just like, nope, you can't do that. And then they're like, oh, nope, looks like you definitely can't do that. So like they overruled the executive actions that she took, and then they actually overruled the act that gives her the powers to do EOs, right?
That wasn't what I'm talking
Two
about, but let's
separate-
talk about that. So you
Two separate
know
rulings.
that I don't like her at all. You know, I
Stretching Gretchen.
think she is drunk with power. And you know that I think she is just the most mediocre person, let alone somebody who's the fucking governor of the 10th most populous state in the country.
She's like every middle-aged woman from Michigan.
She's the kind of person who could turn into literally like a Stalin or a fucking Nazi. Because
And she's a Democrat.
what she said, and she didn't talk. So the first one you brought up, the vote was 7-0,
0. Yeah.
and then the second one was 4-3. And her comment on it was,
It was
I
4-3. It was not unanimous.
she said it was, well, the first thing she said was, my authority was undermined by the court. So she basically said, I do not recognize the court as, one of the three branches of government who, by the way, decides what I am and am not entitled to do in accordance with the Constitution. And there was some other act, like the Executive Powers Act or whatever, that determines what she's allowed to do with her job. That's the Supreme Court's fucking function. And she said, she used the word undermined. And remember when I was talking about the barber, and I was saying, she's thinking, I'm in charge. I'm in charge. What's she thinking? If she thinks that the Supreme Court undermined her authority, she's thinking, I'm in charge. I'm in charge. Bah, bah, bah. Seriously, the Supreme Court undermined her authority. That's fucked up. That's somebody who wants to be a dictator. That is
Instead of the
dictatorial
Supreme Court
thinking.
kept me in check. Thank you. Yeah. Right.
Right. Unfortunately, and you could spin it. She's just not a good politician.
Or she has a bad fucking campaign team. But yeah,
Yeah, not good speech writers or whatever. Or maybe she's a little Trump-esque and doesn't like listening to people, which wouldn't surprise me. But she could have spun it and said, I'm no longer able to exercise the things that are going to keep people most safe in Michigan, which is, and she could rattle off, wearing a mask and whatever else her agenda is. But instead, the people who are paying attention, like me and you and whomever, the Supreme Court undermined me.
Yeah.
In other words, I don't get it.
They said no. Yeah, I don't know why.
Mom
don't
and
get
Dad
it.
said, no, I want to go out tonight. Oh, man.
Yeah. Don't be so, God, I hate the term obtuse, but like, why are you, don't be so obtuse. Because it comes from that fucking movie, Shawshank Redemption, and it's like everybody who thinks that they're smart always uses that. But that's what's going on here. It's like the perfect usage.
I think you're giving her too much credit, man. There's nothing cerebral about what she's doing. She's just mad that they took my power. Fix the damn roads.
Okay.
I think she's.
You're
I think it's a total visceral reaction to somebody fucking with her power. I really do. That's why she scares me. And she's just a governor, right? And but at the same time, she's a fucking governor,
Yeah.
When
Here's what I think.
when the Supreme Court said she stepped out of bounds with regard to the barber having the constitutional right to run his business, she was fucking pissed. And then she went to the AG and had his license pulled. It was very petty and childish.
We did cover that, yeah.
And I
that's
see
a good
the
episode.
same fucking immature reaction. Anyway.
No, you're right. And then here's what I'm thinking is if COVID, the extent that your executive powers can affect people on COVID is the hill that you're going to die on or whatever, like you need to get your fucking priorities straight because you really, I don't think, even if you are the governor, you can just be like, folks, wear masks. Just do it, okay? I can't like legally, I can't put a gun to your head, but everybody should wear masks. And then that's your job. You did your job, I think, right? You're like, I did what I could do. And
Yeah,
I'm not
it wasn't
being a tyrant.
it wasn't Fauci, but there was a guy, CDC, NIH. He was a U.S. guy, and he was credentialed, and he said masks are even better. Not that we want to wear masks forever, but masks are more effective than a vaccine. And he said, depending upon the mask, and if both people are wearing them, masks can and will control the virus to between 70 and 90%. He's like, if both people and they're wearing the right mask, which is that's huge. So
As I'm
I mean,
sick. Yeah.
I'm fucking wearing a mask. I had an
No, that's
interesting
smart.
conversation. My brother lives in Chicago. He's married, which his wife is highly immunocompromised. And I think he thought he was going to strike a chord with me. We were talking over the weekend, and he said, or this was last weekend, he said, no disservice or disrespect, or I forget how he put it, but he said to you and Jill, but if somebody doesn't want to wear a mask, they shouldn't have to. And I said, I agree. My problem is not society at large's problem. So I said, I've acted accordingly, and I have, I've left the house, left my property very, very, very few times. I've been in one building once, and that was just to get a quick blood test for my physical for my doctor. Once. So I told my brother, I was like, so I'm taking my actions. And again, my problem isn't society's problem. So if people want to spread germs, that's up to them. And then I got to do what I got to do to mitigate my risk.
Yeah.
Now,
That's
I think
it is what it is, kind of like you said.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not sitting outside in the sun, and particularly if you're inside, you all right? Coughing?
Good. Sorry. No, it's cables.
Oh.
My chair has wheels on it. Yeah.
If you're inside in a confined space and you don't wear a mask, you're fucking crazy. And
Yeah.
so today I was watching something this morning, and this spike that we're seeing in the Midwest and the East Coast, they're saying that they suspect that this is not super spreader events, but people are getting lazy and comfortable, and they're having small gatherings, and they're just assuming that people they know well aren't sick. So 3, 4 people, playing cards, having a drink, whatever they're doing, having dinner. They're like, that's what's going on now. People have just gotten comfortable and presume that if it's somebody they know well and they aren't showing symptoms, that they're not sick.
Yeah, and I think that's, if you're going to be doing the mask shit at all, that's probably silly to do. Because you and I still do masks. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sick right now, and I'm not going over to your fucking house. There's a little bit of a funny story behind how I think I'm sick, but we're not going to get into that on the air. So, don't shit where you eat, folks. I'm just kidding. Totally fine. But yeah, the masks thing, whatever. Am I tired of it? Yeah. Do I wish that I have COVID right now? First of all, yes, because it's not that bad. And B, because no one else in my family got that shit, and everyone's fine. Well, I actually think my mom is sick, but I don't know. We'll have to see. And I really just don't want to go get another test because I have to drive out there and fucking wait. And then I'm on the COVID call list. And they're like, how's it going? What the fuck is going on with you? At least in New York, though, they have it where you're actually on quarantine. And they call in to check to make sure that you're quarantining yourself.
That's interesting. So you've gotten a test before and they called you?
Yeah.
Semi-regularly?
Yeah. every day.
Wow.
Well,
Really?
every day-ish. Yeah.
Do you think it was to genuinely check and make sure you like pick up the phone and that you're not on the floor?
This is back
and
when this
needing
shit was all starting.
resuscitation?
So
Huh.
yeah.
You should get a test.
Fuck it. Why not?
You can still
I'll
get
be like,
drive
my
up
doctor
test,
said
right?
it's tonsillitis. What?
You can still get a
can
drive
get a
up
free
test,
test.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just go do it. Then if you have it, you know, and then you're protected for at least a few months.
I'll be like, yup. It's only a few months. What?
At least a few months. They don't know.
Oh.
They don't know if we're immune
Yeah, that would
forever
be
or
right.
if it's like the flu and it morphs and you lose antibodies. They don't know. Are you taking?
Mushrooms.
You wanna ask
yeah,
8 Ball
on a
real
regular
quick?
basis.
Cool.
Yeah. 8 Ball, do I have COVID? Wait, should I ask it if I have COVID or should I ask it if...
You should
It's
give it a little
months
bit more
thing.
latitude, if you can.
Ooh. Okay. Well, well, if I give the 8 Ball a 50-50 chance, then it was wrong, by the way, twice recently. But I won't have to point that out.
You're playing with fire, man. You're holding that thing in your hands. Lightning could strike you through your roof.
It's just pure magic.
We've been worshiping the 8 Ball for a year and a half.
Okay, I'll have to Lysol this thing when I'm done with it too. 8 Ball. If I go get a coronavirus test, will it come back positive? That's a little bit of latitude.
A little bit.
Outlook not so good. So what does that mean? Does that mean that if I go get it, it's going to be a positive test, or that if it's not, the answer is no. But
I don't know. That's like the fortune cookie that remember we talked about it that says you're doomed.
God, you are doomed. What does that mean? Is it going to be a plane crash, a car accident? Oh fuck!
Right.
Stray bullet. Oof, that's a bad.
That's
way
an
to go
interesting
because
answer, right? So,
Yeah.
what
Outlook
the hell
not
does
so
that
good.
mean?
So I think the 8 Ball probably retains its infallibility, at least for the time being.
Yeah. 8 Ball's smart. Don't get involved. I had a saying in high school. I was like just so anti-drama. I still am. DGI. Don't get involved. You know, like just high school girlfriend, boyfriend fights, and I'm out, man.
Oh, that shit.
I figured out very early on, stay away from drama.
That's a good one.
DGI.
That's a good one
Don't get
because
involved.
It's like adrenaline control almost. You can do it for more. I see what you're saying, using it for mostly social circle. When there's interconnectedness going on, you're just like, hey, I have a net neutral, or I have a neutral position on all this stuff.
Absolutely, man. I'm fucking
But-
Switzerland on this shit. Totally.
Yeah, hell yeah. But then if it's like, don't get involved, it's like Black Lives Matter shit, and you're in the street and someone's got you on camera, motherfucker, and then you're like, don't get involved, don't get involved. It's good there too.
10-4.
Yeah.
10-4. So what I'm glad you answered the way you answered, because that was one of the things I wanted to cover. But what I was really asking regarding Gretchen Whitmer was the kidnapping thing.
Wait, what?
You've been out of touch, dude.
I've been
On
sick in bed for 3 days.
Thursday or Friday, the FBI and the state police thwarted and arrested. I think there's 7 under arrest, but a conspiracy to kidnap and potentially kill Gretchen Whitmer from her vacation property in northern Michigan.
What?
Yeah.
No way. Were they like
Yeah,
7
there's these guys, I think it was called,
paramilitary guys?
Yeah. Yeah. A few of them are former Marines, and then I think it was the Wolverines something, and like militia or paramilitary or whatever. And so they had been, so an FBI guy infiltrated the group apparently, and they had been communicating, but they said they were doing a pretty good job in terms of like, encrypting, not like digitally,
Their data. Yeah.
encrypting
their
their conversations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were communicating largely through social media. And apparently these guys were given some credit to being halfway smart about their
halfway.
security and their anti-surveillance. So like you had to put your phone in some sort of container, and so no opportunity to record. And then they would like go into a basement, and the FBI or state police guy, whoever it was, had a listening device on him. So while he didn't have a phone, or he had
just had,
high
like, a
tech
wire.
recording, right?
Literal wire. Yeah.
Yeah, so all this got recorded, and then the arrests were made.
Okay, now do you remember what my answer was when you asked me the first time when I thought it was something else? What I said?
Not I remember the tenor,
Remember
but
my
not the
exclamation?
words. No.
I said that's great. I think that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
And I'll
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and
Yeah,
say the
before-
same thing for this one. I'll say that's great. I think that is great. I don't even think that it's bad that they tried to do it. I just think that it's good that they first of all didn't get away with it, which is kind of. I almost want guys like that to do shit like that as long as you're gonna get caught, because then you're like, all right, we dealt with that problem. But
Okay,
damn,
so
that's
she got a national microphone, basically, and she had on her right, and I it from a humanitarian standpoint, glad nothing happened to her. From a legal standpoint, glad nothing happened to her. From a
citizen of Michigan.
systemic, bureaucratic, civil standpoint, I'm glad nothing happened to her. But I still can't stand her. And her response, she had this little, I guarantee you, it was fucking $500, $1,000, $1,500, this fancy little leather vest. And I don't know if you've noticed, but she just bugs me. She looks better. She's like lost weight, and she looks more fit since she got elected, and she's just loving this, man. So she's got her vest on, and she didn't either she's really made of something, or she's totally fucking clueless, because she came off as not shaken in the least, and I think she's really fucking clueless. She was irreverent. Like, if you do this, you're
Like, I
gonna
don't give a
get
fuck.
caught, and we have the ability to thwart these kinds of efforts. And again, there was almost an irreverent tone to the way she responded. Not like,
basically touting Big
holy
Brother.
fucking shit, and she did thank she did thank the authorities, but she didn't thank them in a
thought you
way
were gonna
like,
say God.
thank God, because I'd be, I could be in a basement
Dodged a
getting
bullet
tortured,
there, literally.
right? Yeah, no, she was like, this will not be tolerated. You will be caught. And I was like, oh my God, man, this woman does not get it. This is
Damn,
bad.
Michigan, really?
Like, yeah.
I wouldn't have expected that. Maybe from fucking Louisiana or Alabama or something, but
Yeah, but so people who fear,
And that makes me
share
like her less, you're right.
people who share feelings like me, like she's drunk with power, who happen to be psycho, are
That speaks to that
doing
point,
their
yeah.
psycho thing, you
oh,
know?
oh. Yeah.
So
I thought you meant people who are like me and don't like her see her say that and then like her less.
I guess psycho's not the right word, but whatever. So
Motivated. Let's say motivated.
Well, okay.
I'm kidding.
Let's
folks
just
at home.
make
I'm
sure
kidding,
that
folks at home. Don't kidnap the governor.
I'd not get motivated. I don't have that kind of motivation. But anyway,
You're like, "I just shoot her."
yeah. So her reaction was just really interesting. Like I said, she's really made of something, or she's really fucking clueless.
You know what? I'm gonna make a prediction right now, and this is gonna be our first predictions and outcomes. Wait, no. The segment we should call is predictions and corrections because we're not gonna ever correct the ones that we get right, but there will be some corrections. This movie, when this movie's made about this event,
Ooh.
they're gonna be like, ooh, damn, that speech that she gave right after that shit happened, it did not make her look good. Like, this woman is a fucking tyrannical bitch. So they're gonna alter it and make it seem like she's shaken up and shit. And then you'll be like, no, that's totally not what happened, because she was like a fucking...
It didn't make her look tyrannical, but because I'm totally biased, I don't like her.
No. Well,
And I've got
I'll check it out then.
But again, I think 99 out of 100 people would look at it and say, "Wow, what a strong woman." So either, like I said, third time, either
What a
she's
fucking
really
airhead, she doesn't
fucking
even
made of
realize.
something, or because that would scare the fuck out of me. So
That would scare the fuck out of me too. I'd be like, I'm packing now. I'm gonna fucking carry a gun now.
They had surveilled her up north home apparently at least twice.
Did it say where in Michigan it was?
Her home?
Yeah.
I don't think they disclosed that.
Well, I was gonna say probably for the best, but you'd be like, Charlevoix home. And I'd be like, oh fuck, that doesn't make any sense at all, unless they're
Well,
like,
I mean,
Beaver Creek.
how hard could it
Yeah.
be? And all you got to do
Taxes,
is,
not hard at all.
I mean, right? They probably scrambled right now to get it out of public records, but
I just almost want to be like, that's how much people hate you. They're literally gonna try it. How many times ever in American history has a governor been tried? Like, has there been a kidnap attempt on a fucking political figure? At
Well, we
least
don't
governor
know.
or higher.
we don't know because
Oh, right.
remember the story I told about George
Yeah,
Bush in
hide.
1992 and the guys with the guns and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, here's an interesting conspiracy
With the
theory.
fucking artillery.
But
Yeah. What?
for I was going to say, for whatever reason, the authorities wanted this one to be known. Maybe they didn't. And she's like, I'm going to go out and I'm talking about this. I'm talking about
I'm gonna
this
go
because
out in
they
the
got
boot
busted.
and talk about it with my fucking Michigan accent. That's way over the top.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, you're doing like a Canadian accent.
It's more like Fargo, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but God, what if that is the fucking case? I want to see the tell-all right now. I didn't even know that this happened. Someone mentioned Gretchen Whitmer kidnapping to me, and I was like, whatever, like something stupid about someone saying, "Oh, we're gonna kidnap you," you know? But it was like these guys were actually doing it. Oh my God, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's not a good look for Michigan.
Originally, the story is they were trying to recruit 200 people and they wanted to storm the Capitol and kidnap her out of the Capitol. And they
Jesus
decided
fuck.
maybe that's not such a good idea.
Talk about
You know-
dead bodies on both sides.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
not good.
Do you remember something was going on up in the Capitol and there were open carry people in the Capitol building? Like
Yeah.
fucking ARs
We
and
covered
whatever
that
else.
too.
Yeah, you know, it surprises me that in terms of concealed and open carry, you can't go to a bar, you can't go to a sporting event, you can't go to... I'm really surprised, like, governmental buildings aren't off limits either. That's really surprising.
I think there's a weird line with that, though, right? Because you got to be like, well, like you can't go into the Secretary of State with a pistol, can you? I don't think you can.
I've read it. It's been a long time. But again, sporting venues, any place that serves alcohol, I would just think that, places of governance, with VIPs and that would be off limits.
Yeah.
Do you remember the
That you-
scene in the Capitol? I don't know if it was 3, 6, 10 months ago.
I can
or
picture
whatever.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. And I was like, wow, man, that's surprising.
I'm like, first of all, those guys aren't going to hurt anybody. And then watch, it's going to come out. Two of these guys, the originals, are they're in those pictures.
Oh, some of
They're
them,
like this.
some of them were there. That's been substantiated.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah. No surprise there. I mean, I didn't think that those guys were. The way that those pictures were taken, you could tell that those guys weren't there that day to shoot people. But it's like, fuck, if you're going to be doing that, though, maybe we'll take a second look at you. But that's why you should have RFIDs on people's
In our heads.
licenses. I'm kidding. That's
First thing out of the
Two.
womb of fucking boom,
right into your.
You
have
get
like a
chipped
glowing fucking.
like a dog.
Yeah, out of the womb. You just fucking wipe him off, and then you just pass him along, put him on the conveyor belt.
Yeah.
That's the America that I want to live in.
Or we're all in a tube like Neo.
No, that would be even better.
And this is a podcast of a podcast. You know what's interesting? Do you know who Wendy Williams is?
No.
Wendy Williams has a show. I think it comes on at noon, right after the local news on Fox or NBC. And she talks about nothing. Literally talks about nothing.
Just
And
like
it amazes me that she has a show 5 days a week, 40, 50 weeks a year, whatever. She talks about pretty much nothing. And I was like, you know what? That's a podcast on television. She talks about something that,
yeah.
that interests a particular, person, and it's mostly women. And
98%.
and whatever it is, but I'm like, it's a podcast. It's a niche following, right? And there are podcasts that have their, like Malice, he's not most people's cup of tea, but he's smart and entertaining, and he has his following.
It's kind of a fucker. Yeah.
He's a troll, an admitted troll.
Yeah. The first thing that he ever did on Joe Rogan. Sorry, this is a quick thing, but I have to interrupt. The first time Malice was ever on Joe Rogan Experience, Joe Rogan goes, "So, what? How would you describe yourself? Like, what are you?" And Malice goes, "I'm an author." And Joe Rogan goes, "The first thing out of your fucking mouth was troll. I mean, I'm an author. No, I'm not a troll."
Oh, he said
Just
that
wanted
under
to
his
say it
breath.
so bad. Yeah. Well, Malice goes, author, like switches it really quickly, but then Rogan called him out on it. It was so fucking funny.
That must have been a while ago.
Great.
I'll
That
have
was
to,
like 7 years ago or something. Yeah, 6 years
huh?
ago.
I'll have to go back. I still
It's good.
think he's such a smart guy with such an interesting perspective. He really kind of fucks himself when he goes trolling, and when he does the pig nose and he really hurts himself.
I have a theory on it, but I'm not willing to discuss it on air because it's potentially offensive to people that I know. So won't do that. But
don't you think he hurts himself? He's really smart. He's really fucking
Yeah.
smart. And I think that, he's been on Fox and wherever else. And I think, now producers take a look at him and see some of the shit that he pulls. And they're like, we just got to distance ourselves from this guy.
I'll tell you what it is, but we got to talk about it offline first.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think he
Have a
does
good
himself a
theory on
huge disservice when he does his trolling and other antics. I really do. Because he's fucking smart. And he's got an interesting perspective. And there you go. Do you know who Lex Friedman is?
Lex Luthor? The
Lex
bad guy
Friedman.
from...
He's that young AI guy. He's on Rogan quite a bit. Rogan likes him. He's young. He's 30-ish.
No, I have no
He's an
idea.
MIT guy. Fucking brainiac. But he's into jiu-jitsu and plays the guitar. But he has these super cerebral podcasts. Well, he had Malice on in the last 2 weeks. You should watch it. It's great.
Is it
It really because Malice he's a brainiac. He just
That
didn't-
fucker quit my favorite TV show. Yeah.
he didn't do academia, but I think he's super genius IQ.
The line that was his that I steal from him and use it all the time is, I spent more time in college teaching my professors than I did learning on my own, which is a douchebag line, but it works for him. Whereas for me, it's like, failed out of college, what? In the first year.
Well, the line I stole when I was in college, and I could have studied a lot harder than I did once I got into college, was Mark Twain's line. Never let school get in the way of a good education.
There you go. That is good. It's a good line too.
Yeah.
And that's basically what he means by it. But yeah.
Well, there's a lot. I mean, you look at Eric Weinstein. He was a terrible student. But I think sometimes, listen to this. And I honestly believe that I wrote at a level that was above the person reading what I wrote.
They're like, who the fuck is this?
At U of M,
They're-
I got
You're-
placed in remedial English. Because during orientation, you take these tests. So I fucking place out of math, I place out of language, and they put me in remedial English. And I think they were looking for like, I was in the equivalent of AP English. It didn't exist, but they just bumped me up a couple years in English in high school. And I think I just wrote at a level where they were like not seeing, check the box, like, just remedial writing skills is what they were looking for.
3 sentences in a body paragraph, and then whatever. With
Right.
Indentation and a tab. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And yeah.
Proper usage of quotation marks.
So I think that happens to people, like him and the Wines, especially Eric. He's fucking super smart. Anyway, yeah, I mean, if school doesn't, they say it doesn't challenge you. If school bores you because it's just looking at things in a way that's not interesting and looking at things in a way that doesn't stimulate you, you're just going to sit in class and daydream.
That's most of what my fucking school thing was, but I don't know that I don't want to toot my own horn on this particular field because it sounds very cocky or hubristic. I don't know if that's a proper adjective, but I would fucking daydream all the time. I'm even embarrassed about what I would daydream about. I'm not going to tell you guys in the show, but yeah, it would be especially in middle school. I'm joking. In those younger years, but yeah, a lot of that shit. And then in college where it was like, oh my God, this is actually a course that I like, but it couldn't be all 6 of them in one semester. It was like 2, the other 4
Yeah.
fucking, yeah. So I didn't do great, but here I am. Still just as retarded. Never learned a thing.
Well, that's kind of like, that's my weird relationship with reading. I just struggle to do it.
A lot of audiobooks in Chris McKay's life. Chris
I
life.
tried one last weekend, and I just couldn't do it. Because I don't listen to the
You're
story.
visibly vile.
I either try to get into what's in. Again,
Or why that person talks like that. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
my brain just goes everywhere
Yeah.
but the topic that's been written about. What are they
When you read a
thinking?
book,
You know,
you
try-
are getting a part of their brain. Yeah. You are reading a piece of inside their mind. It's very
You
weird.
are.
Yeah.
You are, but I don't go down rabbit holes. I go like up. I don't know. Up
Too far
ropes.
to be able to see anything. You just look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, almost every time I've read,
Red round.
I'll be like, that ran through my mind too. 10, 20, 50 pages later, I'll be like, I don't remember what I just read in the last hour.
Yeah, this is the same thing with me at school. But I'd be like, fuck, I wasn't reading, this, which, by the way, I finished this a long time ago. It's just been sitting on my desk. I was reading fucking The Dew Point how to calculate the dew point in fall or whatever, and you're like, this is stupid. You're like,
See,
this
now
is
that would
retarded.
keep
And you're
me.
like, oh my god, I have to read that again.
Equations
think
and
that
shit
that's
like
dumb.
that would keep me.
Yay.
I'd rather read a
That's
math
stupid.
book than fiction all day long.
Oh no, my point wasn't that it would keep me. My point is just like I would have a test on it tomorrow. Like this is like, at least this is just for me. I'd be like, oh fuck, I have to go back and read that. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, the
So
dew point
I'm
is
Just
ABCD.
back to current events. I'm amazed. Yeah, so it was national headline news Thursday and Friday about Gretchen Whitmer. So look at her speech. You know, maybe I'm off base, but I'm biased because I just really, really, really don't like her, and I think she's scary.
Are you biased or do you have an agenda, Chris?
I have no agenda.
You wanted her. You wanted her to get kidnapped.
I
Hang on. I'm pulling this up right now. Sorry, folks, for the dead air, but I do need to see this.
do no harm, right? Just like you.
First, do no harm. Yeah. Was that Socrates or
Socrates, Socratic. No. It's Hippocrates,
Aristotelian?
isn't it?
Oh, that's the Hippocratic
Yeah.
part of the Hippocratic Oath. Yeah.
Yeah.
The danger of private militias. The Governor Whitmer kidnapping plot was inspired by commonly known fat man. Common
Fat
political
man?
rhetoric. No, I'm joking. It was the article cut off, and it just showed a picture of this guy who was fat.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
He's giant. Sorry. Mallory McMorrow. Sorry. Okay. Suspect in Whitmer kidnap plot was pardoned in Delaware last year for the same thing. I'm just kidding. Let's see. What did he get pardoned for? Possession of a firearm. Whatever. Who cares? Okay. Sorry, guys. This is taking a long time, but... Oh, they're all from Oakland County? No fucking way. Yeah, represent.
Right.
What's up? Yeah. Whitmer. Oh, no, you're right. Here we go. In wake of plot, Whitmer, quote unquote, not worried about election. Oh, about election day violence. I can't get this. I need to watch this on my off time.
You need to see
could do
her
a weekend
response. It's at least 5 minutes long,
I'll have to
and
watch it.
she it's highly political. It doesn't just talk. She doesn't talk about, and I don't remember, but I think she got into taking a few jabs at Trump, and
You know who she's becoming?
who?
The next Hillary Clinton. I can totally see it.
Hillary's smart though. I mean, I can't stand
But
Hillary
the left
either,
doesn't
but she's
fucking
very,
know
very,
that.
very smart. No, Gretchen.
But the left,
Whitmer's
I don't
an
think that the
idiot.
left, I don't think that voters on the left think that.
I
or can
would say
spot the
maybe they don't
difference.
know it exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But Hillary
And now she has
is
this story.
Hillary's intellectually smart, politically smart, socially smart. She knows what she's doing. Bill too.
I just want her to be like, I just want her to be running for president after Trump wins in in a month here. Is it November 2nd? That's when the election day is?
Third, I think.
But we probably won't know for a few days because of all this fucking stuff going on. So, I just want 4 years from in 2024. I want her to be running and be like, I was kidnapped. And then be like, or I was almost kidnapped, and then be like, but I also be a president for Republicans and for Democrats. They'll be like, the fucking Republicans hated you so much they tried to kidnap and murder you. You can't speak for Republicans at this point, even though it was 4 years ago. Yeah, but why did you guys try to do that?
These guys were apparently totally anarchists, just absolutely anti-government.
Not my kind of anarchists.
Yeah, I got to
Actually, I
understand
think
more about
exactly
that.
that kind.
But you know what? You may already know all of this, but on this Lex Friedman. It's really good on this Lex Friedman,
I'll watch it.
Michael Malice podcast. It's like a Rogan thing. It's probably close to 3 hours long, if not.
Wow.
Malice gets into his, I don't know if it's a version or it's just how anarchy is. They get really into it.
It's his
Because
version.
This guy, you don't know this guy. He's the guy. He's young. He always wears like a dark suit. He's got like, he literally dresses like Men in Black. He wears exactly that. LEXFRIDMAN.
I gotta look him up.
FRIDMAN.
AI scientist. No, I do not know this guy. He looks Russian. Oh,
He
born
is.
Moscow, Russia. Fuck
Yeah.
See that? I got the Shining, folks. The Shining. Or I have the Shine.
Yeah, it's funny. He challenges Malice a little bit like me on being, truly Ukrainian. Because Malice is like, I'm Ukrainian, blah, blah, blah. And he's
He's like, but you were not born there.
yeah, and this guy, Lex Friedman, lived there till he was 13, which is old enough to kind of get it.
Yeah.
And Malice lived there till he was like 2, right?
Literally 2 years old, yeah. But he just says, I was born in the Ukraine. He still
Right.
grew up in a Ukrainian household, which is, I think,
No,
probably
I
his
get that.
argument. Yeah.
I get that. Culturally, if your parents are there, but
Yeah.
he didn't grow up there. He didn't see shit firsthand.
Are you really? Yeah. Like, while you and I might say that we're Scottish, at the same time, we're also very American.
My head has
Yeah,
gone there.
right?
My head has gone there. My dad is almost as Scottish as Malice is Ukrainian,
As JFK, right?
right? Because,
Actually, well, he lived in Boston, so maybe not.
but yeah, my grandparents came here in their early 20s, so I mean, culturally, totally Scottish. A little bit
And even
different,
differently
though. I
enough.
mean, this country inherited a lot of British tradition and culture, and certainly the
specifically
language.
Scotch, Irish,
so,
and English. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. The thing that's interesting about at least the other side of my family, the Italians, those fuckers. They came over in a time where it was not cool to be Italian. So like they were trying to not be as Italian as possible. And so my grandfather, who I'm named after, his birth name is Colosolo. And you say, how the fuck do you get Charles out of that? Because they were like, we cannot have an Italian son. He has to be American as possible. So they changed it to Charles.
It's really interesting, and I knew I've forgotten much of it, but how, there were different waves of, countries and cultures that came in, and, who was like kind of American and not American yet, and how separate it was. It's an interesting movie, and I don't know how close to true it is, but it definitely paints that picture as Gangs of New York. Really interesting movie.
That's a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good flick. And it's a little bit old. It's like kind of old fashioned for my taste, my liking. Like the filmography, they didn't really do, or the cinematography, they didn't really do a good job with it. But
I think they wanted it to come across as old, and I think that was part of the strategy.
yeah, it does.
it was-
It's not like Sherlock Holmes or whatever with fucking Robert Downey Jr., but they did do a
It
good
was
job. with the
Daniel
actual-
Day-Lewis. He's a big guy.
and Leo. Yeah.
And Leo, yeah.
Bill the Butcher, right?
But I
and
think
Maggie Longclaws.
you remember much better than I do. But I think in terms of, cinematography and all that, because I think it's late 90s, maybe even early 2000s, I think it was intentional. They had a budget. They knew what they were doing.
What was like Transformers was made in 2002, 2004.
Don't remember, and I've not
No
seen
idea.
it.
But if you compare those two, not very good. It's definitely not 3 years worth of advancements there between. That's all I'm saying, and
Well,
have
they're
that was their point, which is fine.
You're
You have
trying
some
to achieve
artistic
a little bit
meaning to it.
different level of...
I just like my eyes like what they like. It's not my fault.
Fair
Like,
enough.
The women in my life don't feel bad. It's just they like what they like. It's not me. It's not you. It's my eyes.
You have a type? That's misogynistic.
Oh yeah,
That's
no, it's not.
misogynistic.
I do have a type though, and I've
Bad
pretty
man.
much got it narrowed in on it.
Bad man. Bad guy.
You have a type, I'm sure.
I suppose I do.
Yeah. It took me a while to get it hammered into the right, but I have some.
Yeah. How are we on
couple
time?
of-
I
couple
think
of
we've been
craps.
talking for a while.
It's 6:15 right now. I think that we did it for an hour and 10 minutes. I think.
I didn't pay attention to where we started. Well, you know, we're on a strong note. Why don't we saw off and not lose momentum? What do you think?
Okay, bye. Thanks, guys.
All right, cool.
You're
Cue
getting
music?
podcast blue balls here.
Yeah,
Bye.
I like going out on top. Bam.
Yeah.
We're out.
So do I.
Say goodbye, Charlie. Fade out, Charlie. Fade out, Chris.
Bye, y'all.
All right. Bye, y'all. It goes.